Your business is only able to grow at the degree that you are willing to heal. Do you believe that? Here, let me explain. So many people, as I've been in the coaching space, been in business of all different kinds, I see people chasing the strategy, chasing the marketing. I mean, that's what they tell us to do, right? You want more sales, you got to chase this strategy. You want more sales, you got to chase this people. And it's always this chasing. But why don't people chase after their own healing? I had a conversation recently, and it really just kind of opened up a whole new matrix, if you will. So every experience that we have, from having a conversation with somebody else to how we view things, how we take on just anything in life, how we perceive it, is actually most of the time a matrix that we set for ourselves. Most of the time, it's not absolute truth. Isn't that crazy to think about? Like, think about that for a second. How you perceive how somebody wears their hair, or how you perceive how somebody handles their finances, or how you perceive somebody operating in their business, or operating at church, or, stewarding their home, whatever that is. It all came from another experience. But is that experience absolute truth? Here's what I believe is missing. So many people will take on, this is how I perceive this thing, therefore it is true to me. Doesn't mean that it's absolute truth. But do you want to know how to find absolute truth? Do you want to know to find the answer? Honestly, some people may bust my chops for this. Some people may call me a radical for this, but it's literally asking the Lord, what is the truth? What is the truth? Take our upbringing, for example. I know there's a lot of people who had an amazing upbringing. I know even more people who unfortunately did not have an amazing upbringing. And our upbringing really does shape us, right? How our parents treated us, how they disciplined or didn't discipline us, how we did in school. Just so many different factors played into how and who we are today. So a lot of people will blame their parents, blame their environment, blame their past. And you have to think of it this way. They did the best that they could with what they had. But we take different perceptions, we take experiences from our childhood, and it does play into a big factor to who we are today. I know when it comes to money, for example, we've talked about this on my podcast before. Money has a hard grip on my family, hard. And it goes back past my grandpa to my great-grandparents. Like, it has had a stronghold like none other. So I've shared on this podcast that I know that my husband and I have broken through those strongholds, at least as far as I know. We've broken through quite a few of them. And that was hard because it went back for generations. So the way that I viewed money, it was way bigger than when Molly was born. And the business that Molly's in, way bigger than that. And there were a lot of unhealthy roots that I had to dig up. So when I first got into business for myself, I remember being in one of my apartments. On my mirror, I had all of these sticky notes. And these sticky notes, some of them may be noble causes, but a lot of them were just vanity metrics. I want to be able to have, this kind of money over here. I want to be able to have this many properties around the world over here. I want a jet by 2025. And here we are in 2025. And I do not want a jet anymore. So many different big things because it looked good, right? It's one of those of like, oh yeah, we got it. Because money was defining my success, my worth. For the longest time, the performance mindset has plagued me in how I've operated, because if I'm not doing, I am not worthy of, or somebody can't love me, or I don't deserve X, Y, and Z. Sad, right? And you might be listening to this being like, wow, that is me. That is me, or parts of me that need to heal. So why am I sharing this? How does this even wrap around into what I talked about when it comes to your business can only grow at the degree that you heal? So many of us, again, we chase the strategy. We chase the person that has the things that we want. And I totally get it. When people say you want to listen from those who have what you want, they actually have those things. I understand why they're saying that, because these are people who have walked out certain principles. They've gone through the fire. A lot of people can talk. of saying, you got to do this and you have to do that, but have they actually been forged through the fire? Have they? So I understand that part. But there's so many people. I would say, honestly, let's go 98% of people. We'll give 2%. We'll give the 2%. 98%, a high percentage. I don't know what it is, but all I know, it's very large. And the large percentage is people are not willing to look within, to heal, to understand where am I really at and take that deep dive. They aren't. They're too busy focused on the money or even the impact of serving other people that then they themselves get left in the dust. So if you think about it, it's actually kind of wild. A lot of people who are mentors, coaches, different things like that, they spend more time pouring into other people and they have less time pouring into themselves because I get it, you have a responsibility, but your first responsibility is you. Why do you think on an airplane they say put your oxygen mask on first? If you can't breathe, how are you going to help other people? And if you aren't growing, how are you going to be able to serve other people at the capacity that you should? You have to take that responsibility. You have to choose to keep growing. So many people do not want to look within. They don't want the inner transformation. They really don't, until it's like a DEFCON 5 situation. Then when it's a DEFCON 5 situation, they're like, okay, maybe I need to look within. Like we go to the doctor, right? Or many people do. I haven't been to a regular doctor in years. And they'll be like, okay, here's this medicine, here's this thing. And it's like temporary topical fixes. It wasn't until I actually got into holistic medicine side of things that I was like, wow, let's get to the root cause and get rid of that. I don't need these pills and other prescriptions and things. I can get that healed by going to the root cause. I had to do a little digging first, though, to get to the root of literally anything, a tree, a plant, yourself. You have to dig. It's not just on the surface where it's an easy grab and go. It's not. So right now, if you have felt this, I would love to know. If you have felt this, and I know many have because I've had many conversations with business professionals about this, there is a shift happening in the marketplace, a huge shift of the strategies that were once working, the ways that we have operated before and had great success before, or we found some success at least. It's not the same. It is not the same. And people are scrambling and freaking out of, well, what do I do? So they go hire a coach, they go hire this strategist, they go hire these different things. But you want to know what it is? I'll repeat the phrase again. Your business can only grow at the degree that you heal. So if you don't look within to really see how God's trying to get your attention on things, for you to surrender things, to heal things, to remove things, if you don't do that, you might be doomed to fail. I'm just saying, if you are not willing to take that deeper look, you might be doomed to fail. Maybe you're one of these that are listening, and you're one of these people that are listening to this podcast, and you're like, you know what, the coaching industry is a crock. Like so many people are just being like, just regurgitating same strategy. And at the end of the day, like you're just getting it off of YouTube and then slapping, here's a $5,000 price tag on it. There's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that fall for that. It's unfortunate. And there are those people out there that aren't the most integrous. And I have seen them time and time again. And that really, and it still does irk me about the coaching industry. That's why I couldn't wait to be a part of doing something different. I could not wait when I got into the industry of how can I actually walk people through transformation. Not that I was giving it to them. We know that true transformation actually only comes from Jesus. True transformation. It's not the coach. It's not the strategy. It's taking that deep look within and being like, okay, Lord, I'm laying this at your feet. And he will show and he will transform, and we have to do the work, right? Like you have to maintain. Like you can give your front lawn a fresh mow, but if you don't keep mowing it, it will grow back and it will look terrible and it will get out of control eventually and weeds will come in and then it's going to be a lot more work for you. But if you maintained it, if you took care of it, you will be able to have a beautiful lawn. Hopefully you got that analogy. I really hope that you do, because our mind is like a garden. Weeds try to pop up all the time. But if you take care of this garden and it's green, it's lush, and it's weed free, that takes work, because weeds are always trying to get in there. Thoughts of the enemy, thoughts of other people and their beliefs and their opinions and their fears. What the world is trying to tell you to, be, do, have, say, all the above. You have to guard this garden more than anything else. And this too, your heart, for sure. So that's why I could not wait to be able to give people something that could help them get that inside out transformation. And it's not just me, it's a team. It's a team of us that put these pieces in place that were needed. How can you facilitate transformation that is actually going to help people heal from the inside out? And when you help somebody do that, remember, your business is only going to grow at the degree that you're willing to heal. So if you're not willing to heal and you're wondering why your business isn't growing, I just gave you the answer. And you might be listening to this, or you might know somebody who's like, wow, that could be the answer. That is something that the world has been missing. And that's why I know God has been cultivating and healing thousands and thousands of people through our academies here at Kingdom Alliance. And we don't say, hey, look at us. These are academies that the Lord literally just the Holy Spirit breathed out. And thousands of people have gone through them, taken them, and they have healed. They have learned, they have grown, they have developed fresh roots in areas of using their voice when it comes to speaking, in areas of leadership. Not everybody is meant to lead thousands, but you are meant to lead yourself and your family, and I'm sure there's a couple other people around you, if not thousands. In areas of sales and marketing and networking, in areas of your identity. This is where I think most believers, most people actually get hung up. They say, oh, I know what my identity is rooted in. And any Bible-believing believer is going to be like, oh, yeah, it's rooted in Christ. Well, when push comes to shove, a lot of people, it's rooted in stuff, in money, in image, in success, in things that the world deems important. And when that gets stripped from you, their health, and if that gets stripped from you, then your identity gets shaken to the core, because it was never in God, truly, to begin with. I've seen it happen in my own life, where my identity was shaken of like, wow, it actually was in money and success and other things. And I'm not ashamed of saying that, because I know I'm healed from that, but I also know how real it is. How real it is. Money had it was like this big eagle with these talons, and I could not get out of its grip. But it's little by little, little by little, little by little, and then the release happened. Praise God. But it took work. It was painful. There was pruning like no other. There were moments of testing like no other. Identity is a big one. And when we ran our first Identity 2.0 Academy, my gosh, the healing in that class. How these live virtual classes are set up is the first 25 minutes of class, people are sharing their takeaways and breakthroughs. That honestly is almost the class in and of itself. And you get to literally listen to people heal in real time, wrestle in real time, be vulnerable in real time, in a safe environment where you're not going to have that be used against you. It's actually for you. Your vulnerability is for you, and it is for others. Gosh, so many different academies that we have in here. But the whole point is to bring more healing to people. Areas of identity, relationships, speaking, leadership, sales, and so many more that'll be coming. And I share this with you because, again, people are chasing strategy. They're chasing the next thing that'll help them make money. But they're neglecting the very thing that God's trying to get a mirror right in front of you. So you look at yourself and say, wow, I cannot bury this any deeper, any longer. If you keep burying things down and they keep getting deeper and deeper, it will only come up eventually, and probably at the most inopportune time. And if you really care about the reason why you started that business, you care about your family, the money, wherever that money goes, the impact you want to have, the philanthropy, whatever it may be, if you really care about that, then you would care that you need to take time to heal. And that is a priority, top priority. And as I have personally have had healing from these academies, I've had firsthand experience from every single one of them of how relationships have healed, my identity roots have healed, my relationship, my view of leadership has gotten even stronger and more biblically sound. So many things, so many things. But it's bigger than me, hence the podcast name. I've seen thousands of people go through, and then the families that these men and women are connected to, the communities, just the impact that they get to have. So I say thousands, it's probably much more than that. Much more than that. And now being able to have a master coach program where people can not only come in and coach these academies, but then coach other coaches to coach these academies. It's discipleship like no other. Of let's get to the healing in an environment where somebody can facilitate something that is Holy Spirit led, very intentional. And by the end of 4, 6, 8, 16 weeks, whatever it may be, you are going to see, and some of these people actually look different. It's physically like they hold themselves and their face has changed. I have seen it and it's mind-blowing to me. It's like obviously when somebody goes on a weight loss plan, they lose 50 to 100 pounds. You're like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. It may not be, some people it is weight. There was a lady that went through our programs and I think she said over a couple years, it was like 150 pounds. Like she lost a whole person. I was like, wait, what? Like this is, what? Seeing the before and after was insane. But at the end of the day, there's a lot that tries to cling on to, including weight, because we're unwilling to heal. We either feed our feelings, we're funneling things in that actually don't matter, TV shows or conversations or even people, or even strategy. Again, it's not the strategy. It is not the strategy. It's you. If something isn't working, there's something God's saying, I want to do a work in you. We're very quick to be like, that needs to change, she needs to change, and he needs to change, blah, 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 blah. It's so easy to blame. I used to be a professional blamer. Everybody else needed to change. I was good, and God's like, okay, I'll wait. Wow. When I finally really came to, and I was like, okay, well, I'm the common denominator, so. Especially when it came to dating before I met my husband, I was the common denominator of so many horrible failed relationships because I wasn't willing to sit and realize, first of all, it's not time yet, and I'm chasing after all the wrong things because of what I was looking for. I was looking for it in all the wrong places. All the wrong places. So I'm sharing this with you because the healing that you need is going to unlock the breakthrough, not only for your business, which is amazing, your own personal freedom. The things that currently take real estate in your mind are out. The healing in relationships, maybe new relationships emerging. Maybe new relationships that will emerge because you chose to heal and now you're in a different state, different environments, physically, mentally, emotionally. It unlocks so much, but so many people skip out on it because it actually is the harder work. It really is. It really is the harder work because we're breaking patterns and cycles that have been tormenting not only us, but probably generations before us for generations. And it gets to break right now. It gets to break right now. So if you're ready for that healing, if you are ready of like, you know what, I do need to heal. My family deserves it. I deserve it. I want to get closer to the Lord. My clients deserve it. I want to build a business and I want to be able to have it be on that kind of solid ground. We need to connect. We absolutely need to connect. Molly at OURKingdomAlliance.com. Send me an email. Find me on social. Find me anywhere. And let's connect because I am so passionate beyond belief about what this is, what it has done and what it is yet to do. Because we just kind of put the gasoline on the fire with this thing this year in 2025, and it is exploding. And freedom that people have already had and the proven transformation that's already happened, yet millions of more lives. It's almost like, okay, Lord, you're going to have to open up some more space in heaven because we're going to have a whole bunch more people up there. Going to open up some space. Open up the lot. Open up the lot. Transformation that only He can facilitate. More of that, please. More of that. And I'm so excited. And if that's you, I cannot wait to connect. Or maybe you just got some value out of this today. Also, let me know. Also, let me know what resonates. Maybe you need to share this with a friend because so many people are just sitting there chasing the wrong thing. And how long are we going to chase ourselves? How long are we going to chase or allow people that we love and care about to chase the wrong thing? So I know you're feeling that nudge. Hey, I need this. I know somebody else that needs this. Lean into that. Lean into that. You take a step, God meets you. Take another step, God meets you. That's how it works. Lean in and let's do it together. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode. It means the world to me that you would lean in, listen in, and be able to hear the value that's being shared on this show. Don't forget, if you love this episode, rate the show, leave me a review, be sure to share it with a friend, and don't forget to tag me on social media. I will definitely be giving you a shout out. Also, come say hi, drop in the DMs. I would love to be able to hear what stood out to you the most on the episode and if there's any topics that you would like to hear on the show. We'll see you next time.